Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, channel host and admin. And today we got breaking news over the future of some of Everton's players this season. Wow. Where do we start with this one? Get your comments in and I want to hear what everyone has to say. So Everton have confirmed, first and foremost, that all of the loanee players have returned to their clubs. That means Jack Harrison is no longer an Everton player. He's gone back to Leeds. Jasper Lindstrom is no longer an Everton player. He's going back to Napoli. And Orura Mangala is another one. I can't remember where he's on loan from, but he's gone back. And finally, last but not least, Armando Broja, who was on loan this season and was on loan at Fulham last season. He's gone back to Chelsea. So, wow, I mean, there's a lot to digest, a lot to talk about. Should we start with Broja then? We signed him when he was already injured. A player with big potential, 23 years of age, Chelsea academy player, very good breakthrough season at Vitesse in Holland. Then went to Southampton, scored 6 goals, 32 appearances for Southampton, looked a real threat for them. He was only really young, 18 years of age at the time, but had a couple of injuries. I went back to Chelsea, didn't really make an impact. Everton chased him for a number of years, to be honest with you. And it's a bloody good job we didn't sign him for major money when we wanted him the first few times, because it's not been a good loan for him. Wasn't a good loan at Fulham. 8 appearances, no goals. Everton again, 10 appearances, no goals. And in fairness, he arrived injured. He played a few times for us when he came first in the team ahead of Beto, who was struggling in that moment. And I think he had threat about him. I'll be honest with you. I think Broja looked like he had drive, a good touch, wanting to make things happen, and quite creative. So by no means a bad player, but then I think he lost his place. He got injured again. I think it was at home to Nottingham Forest. He got an injury, and that was that really. He did make a couple of appearances again when he was fit. David Moyes threw him in against Nottingham Forest, I remember, away at Nottingham Forest. And we had a very good performance, a very good win in that game, but he did tire quickly. I don't think his fitness was quite there. And it didn't really get any opportunities to score in any of the games he played in. I'll just give you a little run through of his appearances. But what do you think of Broja first and foremost? Broja going back to Chelsea, and I do wish him the best. I wish him well. I just think he's been so desperately unlucky with injuries, but his attitude certainly and heart is in the right place. He must be extremely disappointed. So just the 332 minutes in this entire Premier League season. Wow, that's 3 games. He must be absolutely gutted. Was out with an Achilles problem till the 1st of January. And then, played against Wolves. 7 minutes against Wolves, then played against Arsenal away. Made a couple of appearances, then got injured again, and that was it. He was missing between match week 21, match week 28, and then he's just had little substitute appearances for a few games. Moyes took a look at him against West Ham, against Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, City. Difficult fixtures, in all honesty. Didn't get a lot of minutes. The games he did get minutes in were against Forest and City, as we talked about. Forest away, City at home, and he was hooked after 60 minutes. And then never made another appearance. So that's Broja. Unlucky, I suppose. Poor guy. But didn't do enough. Couldn't do enough. The next player who moves on is Orura Mangala. Just to confirm, he was on loan from Lyon. This was a John Textor special deal. He was trying to sweeten Farhad Moshiri so he could buy the club and sell his stake in Crystal Palace, who, he's had success with Palace. They've just won the FA Cup. So, you know what Americans, they want the trophies and stuff. Bear with me. I just want to sip this Costco water. No, we're not sponsored by Costco yet. 27 years of age, Orura Mangala, made 19 appearances for Everton, and I thought he was very, very decent. Leon signed him for big money from Nottingham Forest the year before. He was a key player at Forest. He only made 8 appearances at Leon. Then they signed him. They paid 15 million for him. And all a bit weird. Maybe we wanted him from Forest, but Leon had to buy him first or something. I don't know. Very, very strange. You don't know what's going on there. But he came to Everton, 19 appearances, scored just the 1 goal. And then I think he did, was it his cruciate ligament or something? Knee injury. It was fairly innocuous, wasn't it? So I think that's a disappointing one because I think Mangala is a bit of a decent squad player, but you can understand with such a major injury, which will probably put him out till November, December even. You can't be, we're not giving out contracts willy-nilly now and being, too nice. We've got to start being ruthless as a club, and I completely get why the Belgium international has gone back to Lyon. And to be honest, I think I don't know where he's been the last few months because he was never going to play again for us this season. So I was pretty surprised that he was actually at Everton for the lap of honour at Goodison Park because effectively his season was ended in January against away at Brighton, 90 minutes, and then did he get injured at Brighton? He played 90 minutes against Brighton, and then he didn't play again, obviously. Knee injury. I thought he was a decent player. 1,200 minutes for Everton, mostly as a defensive midfielder. I'll just have a little look at some of the comments here on Broja first. If there was anything on Broja, he's made of biscuits. Dazul, big disappointment, pointless loan. I think we had to try. It was deadline day, didn't we? Happy bank holiday to you, Eugene. What do we think of Mangala? Is that just a difficult situation? Is that unfortunate that we've had to, that's not worked out? We've had to send him back to Chelsea. Let's take a brief moment to discuss. I was talking about the new Follow Everton logo I'm working on at the moment. So this is the design that I am really, really keen to work with. You've got your Bramley Moore dock illustration. We've got the microphone because we are a video podcast, the river or sound waves, and the heritage element. So I hope you like this. I'm continuing to work on this. And I think this is going to be part of our branding moving forward. Not 100% confirmed. Need to speak to people and get feedback on how to improve it, but I'm quite happy with that. Moving on then. So who else was? I'm going to save Jack Harrison to last because I think he's probably the most important of them all. Jasper Lindstrom, another player. We signed him from Napoli, who then went on this season, of course, to win the Italian league. Jasper Lindstrom, no goals, no assists in Naples. Loaned to Everton with a buy option for 20 million euros. And again, another one. And I really liked Lindstrom, because I felt like he had pace, speed. He had a good work rate, but, he didn't. I don't think he got a single goal all year again. And I said when we signed him, why are we signing a player who doesn't score, doesn't assist? You're asking yourself to set up for fail here. Struggled in Italy, and then he's struggled in the Premier League to some extent. 1,200 minutes for him again, 25 appearances, just the 1 assist in the league, 1 assist in the EFL trophy, but another one. It's like slightly gutting because I completely understand the. It's slightly gutting for him, slightly gutting for Everton because I think this is one we really wanted to do well, but. You've got. I can count a lot of opportunities he had to score for Everton and the Gladys Street, where his finish was poor, straight at the goalie, or just not enough end product with the finishing. And yeah, put some decent crosses in now and again, but wasn't enough. There just wasn't enough there. And he's got a groin injury. He's out anyway. He's not played for weeks. He was signed. He's a number 10, but he ended up playing on the right wing all the time, which was a strange one. I wonder whether someone like Crystal Palace, Glasner, will take a chance on a player like Lindstrom. Probably be available again on loan next season. I think he's still got big potential. He's only 25. He may come good. I think it's it's just a disappointment for everyone, isn't it, really? But he has to go back and look. Even if Everton were interested in signing him again on loan or a very minimal fee, which I don't think we could justify, you would naturally send these players back to their clubs and start negotiating again. You wouldn't pay 20 million for him. You pass him back and you've got a stronger negotiating hand there, because if the player wants to return, then it's all about making it work and a fair compromise between the clubs. But definitely overvalued. And what do we think about Lindstrom? We got Peter. Hi, Peter. No end product. Not good enough. And he worked hard. I agree. We can see you all in the comments there. You'll see now we've got a new feature, bottom right-hand corner over here. You can see the comments on the screen, and I love that because it just makes the chat and everyone feel more integrated. It means you can keep your eyes on the screen. So that's a good feature, isn't it? I don't know anything about any of the players that are out of contract, but all I will say at this point, we've lost 2 goalkeepers, our backup left back / right back in Ashley Young. We've lost Decore and his hefty salary. And now we have lost, was there one more with that was leaving? And then all these loan players. So I will talk about Carlos Alcaraz now. He's going back to Brazil, is it? But the thing with him is, I think that's a deal that's going to get done. I just think that's a matter of when, not if. I don't think there's any question mark about that. I'm not saying Alcaraz is the end product, the finished product, who's going to take you into sort of competing for Europe and higher. But I think as a squad player, young player, 4 assists and 2 goals, and he didn't play many minutes. He just looked like an Everton player, had everything about him to be successful. And I think if Beto had scored some of those goals away from home, then Alcaraz would have been sitting on probably our top assister this season, because he's been very creative, very effective for us, and he's a young player. So I really hope we get the Alcaraz deal done soon. Listen, the squad, we've immediately, with the 4 players who've left today, and I'll come to our final one, Jackie Harrison, of the 4 players that have left, and the 3 that's contracts expired who've been announced have left so far, or the 4, sorry, we're down by 9 players already so far. So we've got to start getting some signings in. And Alcaraz, just get it done. Just get the deal done. You know he's going to be a very decent squad player for us. Let's go and get that one over the line so we can start moving on to other signings, because the squad is decimated, and we needed players anyway. Listen, it's hard to say that really, because David Moyes has been here since January, half a season. He's amassed 31 points, which would have been enough to have kept us up by 6 points, even without all of Sean Dyche's games, which is absolutely crazy to think. Although that's not strictly true because of the fixtures. If teams had taken points off us that we hadn't played, that wouldn't make sense. But the points total has been really good, and over the course of the season, that's 62 points, I think. So that would have us in 7th or 8th place this season, which would be very, very commendable, with the same group of players that we've, criticised and said a lot about at the start of the season. They have done remarkable. David Moyes has done remarkable. The squad, the team in the past 4-5 months have been remarkable. And I think I would have been thinking, well, can these players reach that same level next season where they can compete for sort of 7th or 8th? And then you start adding in a top quality right winger, a top quality right back, another striker who's going to chip in with double figures, another midfielder who can maybe score and assist from midfield. And you start thinking, yeah, you can compete seriously for Europe. But now we're losing 9 players, although none of them are real starters apart from Decore. I think we've got a big heavy task to do. 338 of you watching across all platforms. That's really good to see. 340, over 100 of you on YouTube. Welcome back. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and smash the like button wherever you're watching. And on X, 232 of you. I know you love watching on X, but if you get a moment, please come over to YouTube as a bare minimum and hit the subscribe button and support this channel. Nearly 4,000 subscribers. Come on, let's keep this going and get this up to where this channel deserves. Transfers then. keep your suggestions coming in. We'll talk about some stuff. Lucas Fabianski on a free, maybe as a backup keeper. I'm not sure about that. I think that's just lazy journalism. Peter Collins, Angel Gomez. The only thing with that is possession style footballer, quite small frame. Is he going to be right for kind of the hustle and bustle of an Everton midfield? We will see. And finally, then, a player who has been at Everton for 2 seasons, Jack Harrison, English winger, on loan from Leeds. Everton were able to keep him for 2 seasons because Leeds had a clause where you would be able to sign him on a free loan with no fee if Leeds were in the Championship. That was part of the contract which he signed for Leeds. A weird one, really, because he was at Leeds for many years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Then they got relegated. He's had some decent campaigns. He was mostly on loan from Manchester City for all those years, and in all honesty. He nearly joined Aston Villa, and I think we all got really annoyed when he was about to join Aston Villa. But he signed for Everton, and in the 2023-24 season, he scored 3 times in 29 appearances. And I actually, be honest, like Ashley Young at the time, I said, this isn't a player that I want us to re-sign, but needs must. Squad depth. Jack Harrison had a career at Leeds, he was an effective player, but Leeds played such an open style and relied on a lot of counterattacks and transition, and they always had a lot of space because the fullback would bomb on. And Jack Harrison was kind of had a lot of freedom to express himself in that regard. But when he came to Everton, playing with a right back who would never cross the halfway line, he really struggled. He was getting outnumbered in so many games. And I think that's why he only got the 3 goals in that first season, playing mostly as a right winger. I'll tell you how many appearances I think he played right wing in that season now. So 23-24. He played 23 appearances as a right winger, 4 in attacking midfield. Never scored in attacking midfield, but I thought he was quite good there because he could go either way and linked up with Jack Harrison quite well, with Calvert-Lewin quite well. We played mostly as a right winger, 3 goals, 3 assists, 2,000 minutes. And I thought he was all right, I'll be honest, but I didn't think he was that good. And if you look at the statistics for Jack Harrison, he made his home debut against Luton because he was he was another one. He came injured. Then in match week 8 played against Bournemouth and scored that really good goal from outside the box, was it? Like a lob, 1 goal, 1 assist. And then he got an assist away at West Ham and an assist away at Palace. But by match week 12, everything dried up for him. No goals or assists till match week 19. So he went 7 games without doing anything. Got a goal against City, but it was a tap, and I think he robbed it off another. Then he scored against Spurs in a draw at home. But apart from that, there was just nothing there. No goals, no assists, played a lot of minutes. It was 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes. You felt like Jack Harrison was playing mostly because he was very good defensively, great attitude, very good work rate, committed, tracked his runner, wanted to make things happen. But unfortunately, his season fizzled out. And then I was surprised when we brought him back in for a second loan. But again, as I said a moment ago, needs must, lack of money, lack of funds, his availability on a free loan. Don't get me wrong. I met someone who's a friend of Jack Harrison's mum, and he's on 100 grand a week, Jack Harrison. He's not a cheapy player. He should be delivering. This season, a little bit different. Straight in the team from match day 1. We thought Lindstrom was going to come in and play right wing, Ndiaye left, or Ndiaye as the 10, Harrison on the left. And we thought maybe that would give us more balance. Even McNeil left, Harrison on the right. McNeil left, Ndiaye 10, and Lindstrom on the right, and maybe that would be Harrison being more of a squad player. But obviously, with all the injuries and stuff going on, we had the big injury to McNeil for months and months, which meant Harrison basically was involved a lot more than we thought. Then the Lindstrom injury brought him back into the fold, when actually, I think at one point, David Moyes had realised that he wasn't that good. So looking at his stats, match week 1 to match week 12, he played in every game. A lot of 90 minutes is in there, right wing. Of course, we lost the first 4 games, which were ridiculous because they probably cost us a top 10 finish, maybe even a top 8 finish. Certainly look at that Bournemouth game. Losing to Spurs away, who were absolutely shocking. They lost 21 times this season. Some disappointing results there. Not blaming him too much really for that, but you look at players who were playing on the wing and at fullback and think, why weren't we stopping the cross? Because teams were just peppering us and scoring goals for fun. Michael Keane was shocking. There's talk of him getting a new contract, but for me, I think we need to. I don't know. I trust the Friken group to make the right decision, but it doesn't seem to be. Apologies. Doesn't seem to be. They're not seem to be. Is that any better? I need a proper stand. Is that any better? Is this any better? I don't want to keep speaking until. Okay, apologies. I haven't got a microphone stand yet because I spent out 1,000 on the camera, and this microphone cost me 500 quid. So you'll have to bear with me. I will get one. I'll sort it ASAP. But I've made quite a bit of investment into the channel at the moment, so you just bear with me a little bit. Is it too loud? Is that what you're saying? Sorry. So I was just talking about Jack Harrison. Yeah, he played a lot of games in the first sort of 11 matches, and we were losing games. We weren't picking up points, but then against Leicester team, we got a draw at Leicester, and the season started to pick up. We got a win at Palace, draw at home to Newcastle, won at Ipswich, draw at Fulham. But then it all suddenly goes wrong again. We lose to Southampton, draw at West Ham, draw at Brentford, lose to United. And you thought, at this point, I've had enough of Sean Dyche after only 13 games. I think we're out of ideas. The team aren't playing well. Jack Harrison was part of that. We beat Wolves, but then we go on another run where we don't win a game. So we only won 3 games between that and match week 21, which is shocking. Genuinely shocking. I can't realise that we only won 3 games in 21 weeks. And then Moyes comes in and he does play against Villa, but then he's on the bench for the 2 wins against Spurs and Brighton and doesn't play against Leicester. We actually won those 3 games. And then Moyes experimented, had him on the left against Liverpool at home. He had to come on. I thought we'd finally seen the back. I was losing my patience with Jack Harrison, I'll be honest. We finally seen the back of Jack Harrison because we were winning some games against Spurs, Brighton, Leicester, and he wasn't involved. But then Ndiaye gets that injury and Harrison's back in the team, which was annoying. And, he played against Liverpool, Palace, United, Brentford, didn't do anything. Got a goal against Wolves away, which, to be fair to him, won us a point, kept us away from Wolves. I don't know whether that actually meant we finished above them or there was a lot more between them, but played on the left in that game and it was assisted by who other than Jasper Lindstrom. But then nothing else. Just he got an assist away at Arsenal, but I think that was that deflected, something or other. But then was back on the right because Ndiaye come back from injury, and no goals or no assists. Although he was part of the team that got 3 wins, so he's not consistent. Doesn't score or assist enough. It doesn't seem to influence results. Doesn't matter when he plays or when he doesn't. There's no correlation between that. I think it was a marriage of convenience. I don't think it was a marriage out of anything other than convenience. I think he's from Stoke. Maybe he wants to be close to Stoke, where he's from. Nah, I was getting really irritated by him. Worked hard, defensively very disciplined, tracked his man, gave 110%, very committed. As a squad player, playing off the bench, who's happy to play a very few minutes, then that's fine. I think when you're on 100 grand a week, you're expected to deliver. Absolutely not. I think it's absolutely the right decision, and I think it would have been taken out of our hands anyway because he's not a free transfer, and he would have always had to go back to Leeds. And if anyone knows about his contract situation, it'll be the Everton CEO, who was formerly at Leeds. So I wish Jack Harrison well. I wish actually all of them well. I think they've all got a great commitment. All gave 110%. But the thing with Jack Harrison, he's been a large part of a team as a forward player for 2 years that hasn't scored goals. There's no justification to re-sign him and give him another contract, even as a free transfer. I've got to be honest with you. I don't see it. What do people think about this? I had another point about him, but yeah, the point I was making. So I think Jack Harrison had his future in his own hands in a lot of these games. I can remember so many matches, particularly at Goodison in this season, where he got into positions in the box to score on his left foot and he skies it over the bar, or he hits it at the keeper, or he's just wasteful because he tries too hard. And he's a player who has scored goals in his career. He's got 34 goals for Leeds, 32 assists. He's delivered 70 goal contributions in 200 games for Leeds. He had a history of doing things, but 9 goal contributions in 73 appearances for Everton is really poor. And he's missed far too many opportunities, far too many goals. And his end product, his crossing is awful. Every cross is overhit or underhit or doesn't get past the first man. So that's all I've got to say about him. I don't think I can say anything else. There's nearly 500 of you watching. Wow. Bear with me a moment. I'm just getting Yandalf on. So he's going to come on to give his thoughts on those players in a few moments. So in the meantime, I will have a look at some of the comments. Royal Blue Rich. Hello, Royal Blue Rich. They are leaving because they have done nothing. I think you're right there. At the end of the day, Lindstrom didn't do anything. Harrison didn't do anything, and Broja didn't do anything. So simply turning up and running is the absolute bare minimum. It's only cracky, Mike, because there's an XLR cable here. And if I'm holding it and wiggling it around, it's going to be shitty. 12-month contract for Keane. Is that a fact, John? Tommy, hi Tommy. How many more left to get rid of? Any news on Keane, Dom, or Garner? We were expecting to hear something today, I think, but we haven't had any information on that yet. I do suspect, in all honesty, that all 3 of them will move on, based on what we've seen with the ruthlessness, the levels of contracts that we've been offering. I'd expect them all to go, and if they do go, that would mean 12 players have left, 9 including all the loans. Jan put a top on. All the loans, all of the players who we've already released, then these ones. And then, to be honest with you guys, I think we're going to see someone like Nathan Patterson leave. He's a terrible defender. I know Peter Duggan's going to have a go at me for this, but if he was, he would be playing in the games. Neil Mopé's also going. Mason Holgate's also going, just so you know, just to clarify. There's 15 players going, plus probably Patterson. Possibly someone else will get sold as well. Idrissa Gana Gueye is going to be the biggest loss. Jan, give me the heads up when you're ready to, when you sat down comfortable and you're ready to jump on. Really appreciate there's 500 of you watching, 193 of you over on YouTube. Absolutely brilliant. And I wonder whether that's because I put the new logo we're working on the title. Here it is. If you haven't seen it already, this is the logo that we're working on for Follow Everton with the Mike, the C, Bramley Moore Dock. And I hope you agree this looks really prestigious and professional. So hopefully just a couple more tweaks and we'll get all our branding switched over. Harrison would be a decent signing to pack out the squad once he gets a preseason under his belt. Yeah, that's what I mean. If he's happy to be a squad player on low wages and play very few games, I get it. And he might actually improve with better players around him and as the club grows. But if we're relying on him as a first choice right winger who doesn't assist and doesn't score, it's not possible to do that deal. It's not viable. Tazul, subscribe if you can. Thank you, Tazul. Yes. A lot of people watch the channel, 200 of you. Most of you aren't currently subscribed. You watch it, you drop in. People watch the stream back. Please subscribe. Only 35 likes. Yes, we need the like. Smash the like button. That's what gets people on the show. People find it. It becomes popular video. People find it. Darren, you are correct. Both of them have got to stay. They're the most important. I think all parties will want to get the Alcaraz deal done. 4 assists, 2 goals. He has got quality. He's got tenacity. He's got ambition. I think he's the type of player who doesn't need to play every game as well and will fight for his place and will continue to grow with the club. Thank you very much, Kevin. Appreciate that. James, I note your feedback. There will be a consultation, a vote on or which one to go for. The gold shield, can you refresh me? Was that the one with the microphone or with the illustration of Bramley Moore in? Rowan Samuel, I am here from South Africa. Good evening to you, Rowan. Pete, hello, Owen, Liverpool fan from North Carolina. Steve-O, it was 2 seasons, mate. Jan, hello. Hello. Can't hear you at the moment. Just while he sets his microphone up.
Hey, Ryan.
What microphone are you using, Jan? Have you got your mic?
This one. Is it this one?
Turn it up, please.
Hang on a second. Wait.
Stephen, as a Leeds fan, it's gutted you're not keeping Harrison. Just turn it up as loud as you can, please, Jan, because my mic's quite loud.
How's this?
Is there any way we get it as close to you? Just because mine's quite loud, so people have to turn me down and you up. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that might be a comment on people wanting to turn you down anyway, Ryan. But there we go. How are you?
There's 500 watching. If they want me to turn me down, they'll leave.
Oh, no. It was more a comment on seeing you in Burger King being asked for a date and turning you down. I don't know. Well, I'm just combining terrible running jokes.
Burger King.
Right. So, what? Nothing. Doesn't matter. So these Mangala, Broja, Lindstrom, and Harrison. Look, have we touched on Lindstrom a bit? Because why didn't we see him
about them all? I've talked about them all, but you can have the air. You can have the
well, in brief then. Thank you. I won't rant and rave about it. But Harrison shows intent, lacks ability. If we need bodies, not the worst thing in the world, but I'd like someone maybe that would be picked ahead of him. Lindstrom, it's a shame we didn't get him because he's got a touch of quality and class, because it just would have been nice to see him push on or be given a place in the squad, and maybe there was a gap for him, or maybe there wasn't a gap for him, and maybe if one would have been forged or found, we might have seen more from him, which is very disappointing because he had a touch of class about him that not many players have, that even when they're doing the simple things. It's like a quality that Idrissa Gana-Gueye has, that we hope James Garner has, that Fellaini had, that Morales kind of had, but didn't quite have it. I don't know if you can see what I'm saying there. Broja, again, when he came on, he had an impact. And if we're just looking at like statistics, I mean, it's going to sound ruthless, but at least in the last season or for the time that he's been here, how was he any worse than DCL? But then again, if DCL,
no, he wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
But we own. The thing is, we own the different players. Broja had a better touch, could drift to the channels, could carry the ball, quite a lot of skill from what I could see. But I think was unfit, always injured, and didn't get the opportunity. Calvert-Lewin, good leap, good touch. But then you saw against Newcastle when he gets into the position to score and it's 1-on-1, he hits it straight at the goalie. And it's like, that is precisely why we can't give you another contract. Yeah. It's frustrating, but yeah, Broja's just a sad one. Lindstrom, he's probably a bit too lightweight, didn't score any goals and didn't take his chances really when he had big moments to to make
No,
himself
it's
a
the
hero.
ruthlessness. And do you know, I mean, for instance, do you know what kind of player we really, really miss?
Cahill, Arteta, Yakubu, Lukaku, Sheedy.
There is one player that I think, just off the top of my head, and you said quite a lot of names quickly, that played with two or three of those players you just mentioned. Played with them, scored quite a few goals, had tenacity, and was underrated when he was here by some, not everyone. People appreciated him. A very good player. Come on, think about it. He played in the number 10 role. Who was he?
Sigurdsson.
No. No. More recent than Beagrie, for anyone getting in the comments here. He was, I don't know, what, 5, 10, 50, no, quite a long time ago, but maybe, I suppose, going back 10, 15 years. But a bloody good player. Yeah, could just be anyone. We miss good players. Naismith.
Well, I thought he was I actually thought he was the worst of the bad bunch. Worst of a good bunch, sorry. He wasn't a bad player, but I felt that he was the weaker of all of the players that we had, and I was surprised
Oh,
every
God,
time he got played.
Look,
No,
I'm
he's
not
playing with
saying
very
he's
good
going to lead the
players.
line. I'm not saying a player like that's going to lead the line. But sorry, Ryan, just take a second and just think about what he actually offered when he played. Yes, Stephen Naismith. This is who I'm on about.
I'll tell you, he scored 25 goals in 123 appearances. So he scored 1 in 6, and he played basically as a number 10.
What? No, 1 in 5.
Okay, sorry, 1 in 5. He was very decent, and he played with very good players around him: Osman, Pienaar, Barkley, Lukaku.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not trying to big him up. I'm just saying we miss a player like that in that number 10 role.
Who
Now,
just knows
don't get
what
me wrong,
position to
and
get in.
and Illiman and Dye has that sort of forwardness, absolutely, right? But that's the kind of thing that you're missing. But he's playing out of position there. He's coming into those. Well, I wouldn't say out of position, but when we've seen him, we've gone, that's where we want to see him playing more. But you know, we nothing's really gelled because there aren't many positions and players in the squad that really realistically we don't have 9, 10, 11 players that you go, he's here, and there's strict competition. But yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Sorry, the only thing on Naismith, I don't quite understand. Yeah, go on.
The brain, both on and off the ball,
yeah.
is the same way as we're seeing slight touches of it. Maybe it's with Ferguson coach. Sorry, who is it who's been coaching? We've had some players coming in, and other things. There's been changes like Baines with Mikolenko. Now, to see that in elements of Jimmy Garner's game is great. And that's why that thinking, and then when Beto held the ball off and played it off, and then got the ball back again, we're doing the little touches in football where you go, okay, don't just do the lump and the hold and the turn and the tackle and the close down and the throw in if we're lucky, you know. And it's just.
So you think the problem? So what you're saying is that Lindstrom didn't have a football brain? Is that the point you're trying to make?
No, he did. And some players don't seem to, that we've relied on. And like, you know, when you get frustrated and you go, you've missed, it's not a difficult ball. You've just missed the awareness to play the ball forward and get 10 yards and play it there while you've got this player running through on the channel and drawing a defender. And either way, there's going to be space to at least play a ball in that's challengeable into a dangerous channel. But otherwise we just turn and go lateral and pass it back, and it becomes frustrating. So that's why this positivity that we're seeing, like, you want to bring in those players that have that nous, that have that switched on-ness, don't you? But there's loads of comments here, guys.
Let's move on because I've been on for 40 minutes already. So before we wrap, tell us about your thoughts on. Feel free to look at comments as well, Jan. But you touched on Lindstrom, you touched on Broja, but there's two others. Orura Mangala. He's gone back to Lyon. We're still trying to work on a deal for.
Did we see anything of him?
Alcaraz. Well, he played for half the season, then got injured. He was quite decent, but he was not spectacular by all means. What I thought. What did you think of Mangala, and what do you think of the situation when he's had to go back due to a knee injury?
I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? But this is the point I'm saying. A glimpse of potential, I suppose, from a business point of view, isn't enough. A glimpse of potential is not enough.
I agree with
No.
I agree with what we were talking about just a second ago. Mangala. That summarizes his career to me. I think he's anonymous. I can't really remember much about him. I remember he liked to take the ball off the defenders and he had quite decent distribution, but would only pass the ball like 5-6 yards, always on his right foot.
Yeah, but wasn't that under Dyche?
Yeah.
So come on, like I don't want to. My game plan. Sorry, Brian. I know I've taken a bit of a break from the channel. Some of the
It
regulars.
was convenient that James Garner was injured and came back in the minute Mangala got injured. It was like, you've done your bit, I'm going to come back in now.
It's just, I try to be positive about it, and I don't want to necessarily say anything unduly harsh. Okay, once somebody's gone, you know, you can say what you want about them. There's a certain emotional freedom because they're not associated with the club anymore. But I don't want to necessarily do that because, you know, we could sit here and I guess, but on a balance of probabilities, say that Dyche's management was shit. Sorry, middle of the day. Or you can say all these things and you can back it all up, but you know, it's not just one man. It's not just 11 or 8.
And he had the ego. He had the ego of Messi.
But yeah, but when I mean, God, do you think sometimes there's an issue with at the club of no, that's a very different topic, right? Don't worry.
No. Stick with this. This is what people have come in to see. Jack Harrison.
Jack Harrison is frustrating because we all know it and it's unspoken. He's in that position. Idrissa Gana Gueye gets the ball from a throw in, loops it over from the left and finds Harrison unmarked 10 yards out or 5 yards, 8 yards. That's something could have collected the ball. Like now, okay. I'm just thinking from a footballing point of view, you've seen what's happened there. Now that requires the entire team to make sure that we retain possession and we don't get caught on a counter by players overcommitting. But where's the right back bombing over to offer support in case they defend really quickly? And Jack Harrison, I'm going up there. Where's the midfielder on the edge of the box? I'm not saying they were or they weren't that they were or weren't there, but let's just think about it. When you talk about football and okay, this opportunity. If you think about playing in those different positions, what your obligation is: right back, bomb on, offer support, come into the box, maybe to pass it back and give a cross in. The guy on the edge of the box to take a shot or to work it into a channel. But the balls come to him. And the last thing I expect in that situation is like some sort of cheeky chip over to the back post that ultimately goes out of play. And it's just infuriating.
The thing with Jack Harrison, the amount of chances
not
he
what
missed.
anyone would do in that situation. So you have to ask, if he's a professional footballer, he's got to that level by knowing that that's not what you do. So then what's the issue? Why isn't he doing that? Why isn't he smashing it, putting his foot through it? Right foot, you could just dink it into the clear corner or hit it across goal, depending on where the keeper is. I can't remember. Right? You smash it across. If he's left foot, it's not left-footed. You can do. I don't know. It's annoying. And I don't want to get antsy about it because my blood pressure is more important than my opinion on a player who's packed his bags, mate.
I don't think it's that he doesn't want to stay. I just think he hasn't achieved enough in an Everton
done
shirt.
enough in the right moments to justify continuing.
Well, the amount of chances he wasted, Jack Harrison. Defensively, his commitment, work rate, and his attitude spot on, Jan. I've got no problem with that. And I think he's a good lad. He really is. I just think in those moments when he had to score or pick a right pass, he'd lose the ball or he'd sky over the bar or he'd hit it at the keeper, and he just didn't have enough end product. So I get why Harrison has to go back. I've
just got to highlight some. I don't know. We obviously, you're more than welcome to discuss this. Not going to put anyone down for an opinion. Right? We're going to discuss it if it's a little bit out there. Absolutely not. Look, I can understand Everton have gone through the whole process of selling young players out of obligation when we would have liked to have given them a chance. In an ideal scenario, 20 years ago, we had 10 youth players, hovering around the fringes of the squad at any one time, 5 or 10 of them. And now we've got, any real contenders? I don't know. And I'm not putting them down. It's just, I really don't know. Right. But that's because when you develop a player and then you have a sale, 5 million, 10 million, 2 million, it's pure profit on the books. So that's what balances it out. You're not going to sell Jordan Pickford. It's just, and to buy him out of, this is the point I was just going to say, and to buy him out of like a contract that's been renegotiated is just, and it also it displays from a footballing business in agent thing point of view. Okay, this guy's gone through all this, he's displayed this passion, then he's just suddenly turned his back after renegotiating a contract. What the hell is going on? Like, it doesn't make sense. Just gotta say, mate, like, because it doesn't happen unless there's something else really there. But yeah,
Gas pipes
just
getting hammered in the comments.
I know, but I just wanted to address that so that the people didn't have a go at him in the comment or her. Gas pipe. Don't know. It's not. It's a genderless term. It's 2025, mate.
Yeah, and I've talked about all the players who are leaving for the past 35 minutes of the show. There's 550 of you watching, and I think Everton fans are just looking out for each other today. We've had Liverpool fans trying to park outside the
Sorry,
house
one
on the
second,
grass,
one
turn it
second,
into some
one
sort of.
second, one second, one second. We don't really need to, because there is an instant increase in our workable cash flow of about 40 to 50 million because of the restructuring and renegotiation of Everton's loans and interest payments on debts, because they've been consolidated under the Friedkin Group. So basically, just by being owned by a more financially efficient company and it all being done and them having better credit and all this kind of stuff, we as a business have immediately freed up about 40 or 50 million pounds per year to pay for signings, wages, business, football operations. That's just that to going forward. That's just that. And that's not even factoring in Bramley Moore, match day revenue, events, hospitality, tickets, anything. That's just on loan repayments. There you go. So that's a reason to celebrate. Reasons to be happy. Part what Ian Jury. What was that?
Bramley Moore Blue says it's selling die to Arsenal. 50 mil, apparently.
I could see him playing there. Genuinely, I could, and I could see him growing a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite
Oui,
sad,
oui.
though. He probably
Yeah.
would. Juju saying bye, Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson. Ooh.
And because of that, also you have to factor in. It's honestly, I feel sorry for when skies are grey. That and anything associated with that, because they're not looking so great anymore, right? You've got the operational turnover of that, right? You have the immediate cash injection of an extra, what is it, 15 million or something for the league positions, because we're not languishing around 17th. It's a few more. You've got the match day revenue. You've got the shedding of the wages so that we can have some form of restructure, because we had so many fringe players that were completely throwing off the bell curve of wages at the club. You have I don't know. It's just okay. I don't want to bang on about it. This isn't about that. But
Yeah, and I said
because
before
it's
that we
going to
would
affect transfers.
31 points in half a season from David Moyes is an outstanding achievement. He's done really, really well. And over a full season, that's 62 points. That'd have you in 7th or 8th place. We'd be playing Conference League next season, a competition where we could win, feasible, or route to silverware to build that winning mentality. So it would be good. But, it's another season maybe without Europe. So your squad, you can't go too big with the squad, because team players will get frustrated if they don't play games.
Yes, which is why at times I've had such frustration, and I've got flack for it, because maybe people didn't understand. I've had such frustration when we've hemorrhaged squad players, and in my mind, maybe seemingly unnecessarily, because we've then had to bring in loan players that we still had to pay the wages for. And we haven't had much income from the cash because of the balancing. Okay, but for instance, and I'm going to keep banging on about it, but players exactly like Tom Davies, who was perfectly happy being in the squad and making a sub appearance every other
He
game.
wasn't.
And
He wasn't
what?
he wasn't because he rejected a new contract.
Yes, because of what was going on and because of the stick he got and all the other things. Okay, maybe let's speak to that. Maybe he wasn't happy of it, but look at where he is, and he's not exactly making first team football.
Well, he was a street player playing in a good team, and then went to a defensive midfielder playing in a bad team. We had to run, and he couldn't run.
Anyway, look, I'm not claiming to be the font of all knowledge and an expert on everything Everton, for crying out loud. It's just my opinion. Yes, that is very true. I do look like a pirate. I've had that many times. I had that. I was the pirate barman. Yeah. Uh, anyway, Patterson back to Rangers.
Well, he's only got a year left on his deal. So what do you do with him?
Sometimes you just want to go home.
What do you do with him when you've got? How do you deal with the Nathan Patterson situation, Jan? He's not good enough for us. His contract's running out. We paid a lot of money for him. He's only young, so he could get better. But I don't know what to do with him.
The issue is across the board, and I don't mean that literally, although I do, but across the board, both literally and metaphorically, there have been some small, seemingly at times innocuous series of decisions that have impacted and interplayed all together to create a not very well-oiled machine, and we've ended up making, for instance, just it's been a catalogue of and then, and it just. I'm feeling the love today, but the point is, it's so hard when there's been, I've posted a little bit online and stuff like that, and it almost feels like we're in this culture of, it's not just character shaping, as Tony Bellew said, it's like it's character defining. It's not just character building, it's character defining. Like, to grow up and to in a footballing sense, and to always be at some point or other, not always the worst, but to be the whipping boys, to be the I mean, why always me? What is it that, that sort of okay, maybe not. Who was it who said that? That's not the best thing to say, but yeah. Anyway, back to you, Ryan.
Flash says, happiest day for years when confirmed dope Corey was gone.
Flash hates Decore, doesn't he?
Souček incoming from Richard Berry.
I've had that before, M.R. I've had that. I've had James Hetfield. It's coming on. I'm just like a lookalike. Souček incoming from West Ham. No. Pavel Souček, is it?
Decore, yeah. He's got a massive ego. Huge ego.
Thomas Souček, sorry. Why did I say Pavel?
Rowan, what are your thoughts on Kiernan Dewsbury Hall? Why do we keep getting linked with this guy? He's done nothing since he signed for Chelsea. He's on massive wages.
Was he the one that was at Leicester and we played him and he was a bit of a SH1T?
Not sure.
In that game that about 2 or 3 years ago.
Blue Stew. Who's the lad from Bristol City I've heard we're looking at?
I know. I was just looking about
that. He couldn't, Gavin. That's the problem.
Jason Knight. Jason Knight with a K. 24. Stats in the Championship, really? 48 matches, 3 goals, 1 assist. Depends where he plays. Midfielder. Irish. Where's he from? He's an Irish international. Okay. So there's a pull for Coleman.
How many more years are we going to use Coleman as our main?
As honestly, look, you can say I don't want nobody wants relationships to be purely transactional, right? But there is a transactionality about them. Look, there's that shared mutual understanding of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and it's commensurate, or it's proportional to the amount of genuine, authentic honor, trust, respect, and loyalty that's been built up. I don't think it's a wild assumption here to say that Seamus Coleman loves Everton. And and he's proud of his Irish service as the captain of the Irish. Like, I'm sorry, am I taking a leap here that a fellow compatriot in the national team, might be convinced by his captain, and bloody hell, Christ, Ryan,
Evan Ferguson.
Have I been morning drinking or something?
Evan Ferguson. No goals. West Ham on loan.
West Ham. Was he at Brighton?
Yeah. He's a Brighton player.
Yeah, he's the one that's like 6'5", isn't he? About 23.
20, 6 foot, no goals this season.
How many appearances?
38.
How many? 38 or 30? 30. How many?
Played for Brighton 13 times, 1 goal. Played for West Ham 8 times and didn't score this season.
Mate, are we just recruiting the entire Republic of Ireland team at this point?
Thank you, Richard. That was the one we were looking for.
Fellows, on a business level, or?
Oh, I've been on for an hour, Jan.
Oh,
is there anything else you
okay.
want to talk about?
Well, definitely. I think that means we might sign him then, because that's Everton. That Tom Fellows.
Did you see the trains cancelled to Lime Street from Birmingham? That's brilliant. What actually happened?
I don't know. Why did you say it's look? Come on, man. Dude, I'm not being a. Okay, I am.
The rain.
No,
the trains getting cancelled. The rain.
Dude, no. I don't want to get drawn into that. If you want to do that, go at it. I don't want to be associated with it. I don't want to rain on someone's parade. Genuinely, right? It sucks, but it's nothing to do with me. I care about Everton. I don't care about them. What?
It rained on their parade. That's brilliant.
No. I said I don't want to. I don't want to literally like, I'm not a joke, but I don't want to rain on their parade. You can be bitter. I don't want to be called bitter because I'm not bitter. Like, let them have at it. And do you know, it's people.
No. Because you won't win that. You'll just get people getting annoyed with you.
I don't care, mate. I don't care what people feel about me. I don't give a flying monkeys, man. I care about me. And obviously I've got empathy or humanity, right? I don't care. They're out having a lovely day. Have at it. People go out, have to be, just have a nice time without shitting on anyone else's good time, dude. I really don't care. Like, just go out, have a nice time, be safe. Because I had a front row seat the last time that they won the league, and I was in L1, and I literally had like a front row seat to it, and I saw some pretty horrific things. And it's not football, it's not football allegiance, it's just alcohol and excess and idiots. And so for that reason alone, people are going to go out. Imagine if it was you and me and people watching this, and old folks, and your mum and dad, and and partners and friends, man. Like, I don't want to be some sort of moral high horse, man, but I don't want to be like that. I really don't. And I just wish you didn't bring it up, because now it seems like I'm putting you down for it. And I don't want to call you out, but genuinely, Reds, be safe. I can't help it that you support a fucking horrible team that I hate with a passion, but go out and have a good day. Leave it at that, mate. Talk about Everton. We're a fucking follower.
Have a terrible day. Have a horrible, horrible day.
Nah. Sorry, mate. I don't want to be this. This is me manning up. Not my problem, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Couldn't get to Lime Street.
I'm fine. I am fine. Honestly. That's it. That's my point. That is my point. Let people have their stuff.
You went on a 5-minute rant about it. All I said was it's funny they didn't get the train.
Because I'm in a group chat with you and I know the shit you say. And I don't want that on a fucking stream that I'm on. Yes, get the blue fairs out, have banter, but I don't want to see the kind of stuff I saw 5 years ago. I saw people bottling people. I saw groups of one
No
colour
one's talking about that.
Colour.
We just said it's great
the
trains got cancelled.
Like it. So I don't want to.
We just said it was great. The trains got cancelled.
Leave the negative vibes, man. Leave it. Have a lovely day, everyone. That's it.
Positive.
Goodbye.
It's not negative.
Nah, mate. I ain't about that. Nah.
Okay. All right. Bye. Just got fucking rage. As I said, I'm glad they're chill.
Not rage. I am chill. I am so chill. I'm animated. You seem to maybe misinterpret. Like, you thought the violin at Goodison was romantic. It's poignant. Like, this is not rage. This is me just being animated and passionate. Maybe passionate about being chill about it, but like. Yeah, that's it.
No,
Let's
no,
talk.
no, no, no allowed to say
Please, let's
anything
talk
about
about
them.
Everton, Ryan. Please, let's talk
I
about
finished. I
Everton.
finished. Ladies, see you soon.